Hey everybody, welcome back to No Jumper News. It's Adam22 featuring my man Flakko. Let's get right into the news. So, Drillmatic, the game's most recent and 10th studio album, was released on Friday. The album's song, The Black Slim Shady, has received the most attention and is seemingly the latest instance in which the game has publicly dissed Eminem. The game has admitted that he thinks he is a better Eminem and believes that Eminem is partly to blame for his abrupt dismissal from Shady and Aftermath Entertainment. For 10 minutes, the game disses Eminem's flow and questions his status as a self-described rap god while criticizing his rapping as well. Produced by Hit Boy, the song's opening skit features Matthew, the younger brother from Eminem's 2000 hit Stan, getting ready to pick up game for his final Uber ride of the evening. The song then becomes a lengthy attack on Eminem's legacy, with Game accusing Eminem of wanting to be black and participating in cultural appropriation. He also mentions Eminem's daughter, Haley Jade. Game details his long time working with 50 Cent and G-Unit and his relationship with Dr. Dre, whom he raps about killing. You depress and you just masking it. You pop an Adderall, a Vicodin, and an aspirin, but the math wasn't mathing in, the Game raps on the song. So pass me the torch, cause the torture's in my mind. With the voice that defines rhymes, we're forced to blind eye. Done seen the owls in a white Rolls Royce with a 5.9s. When you was pretending to be the white Royce to 5'9". During his appearance on the Drink Champs podcast, Game openly challenged Eminem to a versus battle, an offer that he has presented on several occasions since. Eminem's daughter, Haley Jade, responded to Game's diss track saying, "If you have to make a song 10 minutes long about someone you dislike, it's giving obsessed." And she then deleted the tweet. "My dad is so legendary that people have to diss him in their songs just to attract audience because they know they would flunk without the attention," Haley continued. All right, Flakko, I'm on the heels of my legendary Game interview that I just dropped. Got about 500,000 views so far, turning up in the streets. So that was my first time really having a long sit down with the Game. With that being said, maybe I'll be safe with my words when speaking about this track. Maybe. Flakko, I'm assuming you won't do the same. What do you think of the song?
Yo, I'll blame Joe Budden.
Really?
Yes, like this whole trend of dissing people who would never acknowledge your existence, it started from Joe Budden and Drake, right? But that's not the point though. Now with the Game in this diss track, now first off, it didn't even start off as a diss track, right? Because he mentioned Eminem name, I think until like 4 minutes into it, right? You know, that's the first thing. Now the second thing is this, with the whole skits thing, once you try to do too much during a diss track, it don't feel the same, yo. Like stopping a diss track midway to do a skit with the, you know, like with the brother, it's whack. Now I feel like with the Game, man, because he gave us 300 bars, there's nothing he can do after 300 bars in terms of a diss track. If it's not 300 bars, we don't want to hear it. It's the Jay Electronica effect. When Jay Electronica gave us Exhibit C, whatever he gave us after that, we don't want to hear it because Exhibit C is the greatest literature text like in the last 20, 40 years, right? So with the Game, I feel like he tried to recreate 300 bars. He tried to do, you know, like just a lot. Now, even with this diss track as well, it didn't feel like a Game diss track because, bro, he was out here rhyming in Eminem's flow, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I feel like...
It didn't feel like an Eminem diss track for, like, maybe the first half of it or the first, like, 4 minutes. I was even planning on coming on here and saying that, but then he starts to get into, you know, all these disses of Eminem. But, I mean, at the very least, let's just start with the length. Did this song need to be 10 minutes and have multiple skits in it? I don't think so. I mean, I feel like even during the interview that I just did with Game, we were talking about the concept of doing 3 verses instead of 2 on a song and how he doesn't tend to do the 3rd verse anymore because he feels like he can do what he has to do in the 2 verses. I mean, I kind of wish that he had stayed with that same logic for this song. I think that the public would have heard him a lot more if he had consolidated this down into like 5 minutes. Like, I really think that the 10-minute thing was just kind of like annoying enough to people that it was kind of a turnoff just from the get-go before you even get into the lyrical content.
Nah, and also like it definitely, now when I rate this diss track, I'll probably rate it like a 3 out of 10. It definitely wasn't a good diss track like by any measure. Now, when he rapped it, I feel like the diss track is worse because he's rapping in Eminem's voice and flow. Now, I feel like he did that though, because I'm not sure if you watched the Drink Champs interview. During the Drink Champs interview, I think Nori and them was like, bro, like, how can you even think you're a better rapper than Eminem? And his response was, what? Like, you think he's great because he raps fast? So now he's trying to like say, yo, you see, I can do what Eminem is doing. But I feel like he kind of proved the point he proved the point he wasn't trying to prove. Like, just rapping fast and rapping in that Eminem's tone, that's not what makes Eminem great. Eminem is great because Eminem is a great rapper.
Yeah, and when you want to listen to a Game song, you probably want to listen to a song that sounds like The Game, not Game doing an Eminem rendition. And I think anytime you look at a diss track, you have to look at it in terms of like impact, or at least the impact that you feel when you're listening to the song. Like, do you think that this song is going to have any kind of impact on Eminem's career? The answer to me is obviously no. Like, nobody's like calling him a culture vulture, saying that he's overrated as a rapper, saying that he, sort of dick rides all these guys like Dre and stuff. I mean, I don't think these are the kind of disses that are doing anything for anyone. And it's not like when you're even listening to it that you're like, oh, it's just like Eminem's status is so cemented that if you are gonna diss him, I think it's a fool's errand. I don't think anybody could really like make a diss song about Eminem at this point that would really hit. But if you're gonna do it, I think you need to like really try to think of like one solid critique to go with. And this kind of felt like a hodgepodge of all the different critiques that people have been able to throw at Eminem over the years. But ultimately, it didn't really feel like it did any kind of damage, right?
Yeah, like it was all over the place as well. Like this man had about like 2 metaphors and 100 name drops, man. He came off name dropping Saweetie, name dropping Lizzo, name dropping 6ix9ine, Frank Ocean. It was just all over the place, man. Me personally, bro, I think the album in general was a great album, right? Now, the album in general, I believe, was Game rapping at a level I've never seen Game rap before. It was like elite God tier rapping.
Full disclosure, I gotta listen to the album later today. I was on vacation all weekend. I ain't heard it yet.
Yo, you'll be surprised, man.
It's Monday morning. I listened to the song though, but
you'll be surprised when you hear that Game album, bro. I feel like 30 songs, I came into it looking to hate. I came into it looking to say, bro, this shit is fucking garbage.
Really?
Yeah, but then after about like 10 songs in, I say, yo, this dude got one, So
it kind of feels like this is a homage to Eminem in more ways than one, right? Because Eminem was always the king of, it's time to drop an album, so we got to diss, some competitors, some big names, etc., and that's going to draw attention to the album. I kind of feel like this is so transparently that. Like, this is so transparently like, oh, we need like a thing that people are going to pay attention to this album because even if it's 30 great songs, it's like the 10-minute Eminem diss is just obviously going to be the thing that people pay way more attention to. And when I'm interviewing Game, I'm not really seeing him as being at the place in his life where he really wants to be beefing with Eminem, or where he really like, I don't know, it just kind of feels insincere. It doesn't feel like this is actually representative of the place that he's at in his life. And I know like people are always going to compare him to Eminem, and especially after the Super Bowl thing or whatever, it like might seem a little bit more pertinent for him to offer his opinion of Eminem.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I don't know. It's just, it feels kind of silly.
Yo, I never see a quote unquote rap beef start because somebody else called somebody else great. Right? That's crazy, right? Because like the Eminem quote unquote beef thing started with the Game because Nori called Eminem great, or called him better than the Game. It came out of just hating. Now, I kind of agree with you, right? Because even with his little like press tour, it was filled with just absurdities of, yo, I could be a billionaire, I just don't want to. Yo, bro, listen, man, I'm the greatest rapper of all time. So, I do feel like it came off as that, man, but it's a shame because the Game has gotten to a level in his legend status that he don't need to do that, right? Now, I'm not even sure like what this album is on pace to do.
But this is the thing, everybody needs to do that.
No.
Even the Eminems of the world, even the biggest rappers need to start some shit, or at least have some kind of controversy. Like, you just see very few rappers avoid it. Like,
For what though?
Because with the internet and the information age that we're in, it's like you just need something for people to hang their hat on, for people to be interested.
Yeah, no, the thing is this though. Why do it when it's still not like, what is the Game purpose? Because we know he's not gonna sell over 30,000 copies. Like,
you think the Game's gonna sell less than 30?
Didn't his last album in like 2019 sell like what, 16?
Are you serious?
16 or 22, right? Like,
I didn't know that.
Right, and Eminem just sold 44,000 first week.
Eminem sold 44?
Yes.
I'm getting old. I'm not even up to date on any of these numbers. These sound way too low.
Yeah, so if Eminem is selling 44,000 first week, the Game ain't gonna sell over 30. Like, he's probably gonna do about 25. Even at that though, again, even with 30 songs, with the Game doing 30 songs, he's obviously going into it knowing that his numbers are gonna be weak, so 30 songs is to kind of like bolster that, right? So why even do the whole, yo, I'm gonna diss somebody that I really like?
What's the point of doing a 10-minute diss song when you could do 3 different Eminem diss tracks on the same album? Boom, that counts as 3 different plays.
Yeah. Yo, also too, like when I actually, even like with the whole album thing, he dissed a lot of people, man. He's still dissing 6ix9ine. Yo, the Game is going into this trying to sell records, man, but hey. hopefully the game, sells the records he's trying to sell.
I will have an official opinion about it by the end of the day. But shout out to the game. Shout out to Eminem. I'm actually going to listen to Haley's podcast.
She got a podcast?
Yeah.
Hey, yo, she is fine as fuck.
I was going to avoid talking about that part of the equation.
Have you seen Haley?
She's pretty, yeah. But
Yo,
I'm going to check out her podcast.
Yo, speaking of white women, bro, now there's a white woman that I can look at.
Well, okay. Fucking weirdo. Hey, if you enjoyed this, do us a favor, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back real soon. Appreciate y'all.